They tried to silence him. Ibrahim Traoré's message that shook the black world. Across the world, from Harlem's crowded streets to the villages of Burkina Faso, a single voice has ignited a movement, a voice that dares to challenge centuries of silence. Today, Ibrahim Traoré does not speak as a president. He speaks as a brother. His message is not of comfort, but of awakening, a demand that every man and woman of African descent remember who they are. In this powerful address, Traoré calls upon the entire black world, from the Americas to the Caribbean, from Europe to Africa, to stand together as one people, one destiny, one rising nation. He reminds us that division was never natural, it was engineered. The time for mourning is over. The era of building has begun. Stay with us as we explore his unforgettable words. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that awaken truth and courage. Traoré's truth pierces deep. He reminds us that while oceans, borders, and languages have separated the children of Africa, the same system still profits from their pain. The chains that once bound the enslaved now appear as debt, poverty, and miseducation. The cages of the past have evolved into policies and prisons. The colonizers may have changed their flags, but their control remains, only hidden behind diplomacy and development. He draws a haunting parallel. They gave you rights, then built prisons. They gave us flags, then built banks. For Traoré, freedom without ownership is merely captivity without chains. Across the diaspora, he sees the same design: laws that promise equality but deliver dependency, education that glorifies Europe while erasing Africa, and economies structured to drain African wealth while feeding foreign empires. But this is not a message of despair. It is a call to rise. Traoré tells the black world, "You are not minorities. You are a scattered nation." He exposes the greatest weapon ever used against his people: disconnection. For centuries, propaganda has convinced Africans abroad to distrust those at home and taught those in Africa to pity the diaspora. The enemy, he says, is not one another. It is the global system that thrives on their separation. He calls out to Harlem, to Kingston, to Rio, to Paris, to Johannesburg, telling each that their battles are branches of the same root. Police violence in America, hunger in Haiti, economic manipulation in Africa, all symptoms of a single empire wearing different masks. And that empire fears one thing above all else: a united black world. Traoré challenges the myths that have distorted history. He reminds us that long before Europe built cities, Africa built civilizations. Empires like Mali, Kush, and Aksum mastered governance, astronomy, and medicine. Yet, colonial education erased these truths, showing only images of poverty and chaos. They showed you famine, not fertility. They showed you war, not wisdom. His words cut through centuries of shame. You are not African because you were born in Africa. You are African because Africa was born in you. Then comes his rallying cry, not for migration, but for alignment. Traoré tells the diaspora, "Do not come to Africa for nostalgia, come for strategy. Bring knowledge, innovation, and solidarity. Return not with luggage, but with loyalty. Bring your engineers, not just your entertainers. Bring your builders, not your slogans." It is a plea for reconstruction, to reclaim the land, the language, the wealth, and the voice that were once stolen. In his vision, black unity is not poetic. It is practical. Imagine African gold funding black schools in Chicago. Imagine African universities training scholars from Jamaica. Imagine Pan-African media networks owned entirely by Africans and the diaspora. What empire could survive that, he asks? This is why they fear Pan-Africanism, because when the scattered and the colonized stand as one, their control collapses. He speaks directly to Black America, naming it not a community but a sleeping nation. A nation with artists who move the world, thinkers who built empires they never owned, soldiers who fought wars they never benefited from. When Black America decides not to integrate, but to initiate, the world order will shake. His words echo with the conviction of generations. Malcolm's fire, King's dream, Sankora's courage. To the Caribbean and Latin America, he pays homage. To Haiti, he offers reverence. The first to defeat an empire and the first to be punished for it. They did not fail. They were feared. To Jamaica, he calls out as the birthplace of resistance, the land of Garvey and defiance. To Brazil, he reminds them they are the hidden African nation, the largest outside Africa, still carrying ancestral fire under a mask of assimilation. His message is clear: unite not in pain, but in purpose. Then, turning to Africa itself, Traoré speaks with burning urgency. Stop negotiating your dignity. Stop outsourcing your survival. He warns that the world will never respect a continent that begs. Respect must be earned through creation, by building industries, schools, and technologies without foreign permission. He calls for a single African currency, a unified defense pact, a continental food reserve, and a shared satellite network. His words reshape the idea of independence, from symbolism to structure. Freedom, he insists, is not a flag. It is control. Control over land, education, production, and defense. The time for pleading is over. The world respects countries that build, not beg. As his address rises to its climax, Traoré's message becomes both spiritual and strategic. We are not here to fit into history. We are here to change it. He rejects the illusion of equality within a system built to exploit. Equality inside a burning house means nothing. We do not want a seat at their table. We want our own table, on our land, for our children. And finally, he delivers an oath for the next generation. No black child anywhere on earth should die in a world his ancestors built. With those words, Traoré transforms pain into a blueprint. His vision is not one of revenge, but of rebirth. Not of bitterness, but of building. He demands that every son and daughter of the black world rise to create what their ancestors were denied: sovereignty, unity, and dignity. The message is not just for Africa. It is for anyone who has ever been told to wait, to beg, or to forget. For Traoré, the time has come to act, to turn centuries of silence into a chorus of creation. The scattered nation is awakening. As Traoré's voice fades, his words continue to echo across oceans. His call is not for sympathy, but for strategy. Not for return, but for recognition. The black world, he reminds us, has always been one nation, only divided by deception. From the plantations to the parliaments, from the favelas to the fields of Africa, the struggle has always shared the same roots. And now, it must share the same purpose. This is not a dream of vengeance, but of vision. The rebirth of a people reclaiming their place in history. The message is simple yet seismic. Stop waiting for permission. Build your own world. Because when the scattered stand as one, the world will tremble, not in fear, but in respect. Stay strong, stay united, and subscribe to keep walking with us through the stories that define a new, awakened Africa.